As I have traveled through the many years of my life, it has become increasingly clear to me that it is a blessing to have been given the opportunity to be on this planet. I know that having God in my life is not an outcome to be reached, but rather a journey to be accepted and experienced as a wonderful gift. God's presence in my life is much like the lights that shine on me when I make a presentation on a stage. I cannot define nor can I control that light. I will never understand the quantum physics that makes up the individual particles of that light. As I look up into the source of light, I am blinded by its brilliance. Even so, that same brilliance provides what I need to be able to do my job. I cannot make out the shape of the filament inside the light bulb. I have no idea about how electrons race through those wires at lightning speeds and do their work. Yet there it is. The light engulfs me in its brilliance. It is a power that asks me for nothing in return except to accept its gift. I need do nothing more than stand quietly and let that light provide what I need. In a similar way, God bathes me in His gift of spiritual light. He asks me to do no more than stand and receive that gift. His love is something I only need to accept, just as I do that light on the stage. I could abandon my presentation, walk from that stage, and work to find the source of the light. I could devote my entire life to an attempt to define in my terms the light that shines so brightly. Alternatively, I could just stand and accept it for what it is and let it give me the gift of love as it helps me with what I am to do. Even though within my heart the right choice is clear, accepting is not always easy. I know what I must do, but there are forces that want me to leave and search. I do have a choice. I can work to search and find, or I can stand and accept. I must learn to stand and accept. I know that I must develop the patience and endurance to wait for the right timing. I know I must be willing to surrender all the worldly things I have held as important in my past. I must accept there are those parts of life that transcend the things of my life. I know I must put my spiritual needs ahead of my physical needs. I have to be willing to change my life from a search for truth into one of acceptance through faith. I must at times hold controversial positions, take unpopular action, and take risks that others may not be willing to take. I must abandon the idea that I need to do something for God and accept that God, just as the light on the stage, accepts me as I am. That light bathes me in its light no matter who I am, and God bathes me in His love no matter who I am. I must therefore be willing to surrender my current life to be faithful to Him. I must believe that a difference will come into my life when I develop a relationship with God. If I am willing to release my old connections with this life and form a new bond with Him, my life will change. In forming this bond, I must place my relationship with Him in the very center of my life. If the lights go off on that stage, the presentation will end. In the same way, if I reject the Spirit of God moving in my heart, darkness will descend on my life. My journey with God will end. My life will become cold and without spiritual purpose. I must also accept that the true nature of God is beyond my worldly comprehension. If I am to build a lasting relationship with God, I must give up my need for absolute facts and use my faith to obtain His grace. I must see that as I accept that grace, my heart is filled with those immeasurable gifts of love, forgiveness, and caring. I must allow the Spirit of God to flow like a river of love through every part of my life. I must see everything through a new and wonderful prism of life that God has provided. This prism brings the colors and vibrancy of His world into a new perspective for me. This prism changes my feelings away from embracing myth and anger to accepting love and spirituality in my life. This prism moves me from fear to hope and from hate to love. It should be clear that reaching this relationship with God is what matters most in your life journey. Finding God is accomplished by standing in place and allowing Him to fill your heart with love and kindness. You must work to build a relationship that is beyond the why and what of this world. This relationship will be about the quiet acceptance of knowing in a way that words cannot express. You must understand that only through surrender will you be able to accept that there is no real need for answers. Only then, only by standing and accepting, can you move to meaningful action. There is a new life, a new home at the end of this journey. This new home is a place that the words of this world cannot express. It is without dimension, without physical reality, without time. If you think about the words that describe God, such as love and feeling, care, passion, and forgiveness, they are all words that go beyond measurement. There's no yardstick for love, no ruler for passion. These gifts from God do not respond to time. They are not governed by the reality of space. Love does not have length, breadth, or width, nor does God. God's love is limitless. He uses that unlimited love that He gives to us so willingly to form a cocoon that brings us comfort in troubled times. I will someday go home, as will you. I will go to where I'm not just a droplet in an ocean, but an ocean in His droplet. I will not be in the world of the explainable or measurable, but in a new place of the unexplainable and the immeasurable. I will be in a place where it matters not who I am or what I do, but only that I am with Him. I will be in a place where words no longer have meaning. I will know and understand without thinking and feeling and touching. This new home will expand all parts of me that feel and sense without the need for the reality of my current physical nature. None of this will happen unless I allow God to become the center of my universe, the core of my life, and the guide of my being. I must stand and accept His grace and love as willingly as I accept the light from that stage. I must accept without question, without the need for a definition of how. I must stand and accept without any answer as to why.